Hey y'all, welcome back to another lunchtime chat. I am going to speak today on why eating simple and eating less things, less different types of things on the plate mixed into the recipe helps with weight loss. I will share my experience and my experience only, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be beneficial to you. If you are someone who is interested in healing with plants, in vegan weight loss or weight loss in general, or veganism for your kids, growing up a vegan child, hit the subscribe button, check out my other videos. I have a lot to share with you and I'd love to see you come back. So if you've been watching my videos, you know that I've been following the Starch Solution for a little over a year. And what I have found during that time is not trying to, so less is more. And what I mean by that, yes, we can eat more food on the Starch Solution. We eat till we're full. We eat these big abundance, plates full of abundance. But what I mean by less is more is less ingredients, more chances are you'll lose the weight a little faster. Let me give you an example. So when I first come into the vegan lifestyle and I start making different dishes and, making different things, and while it's fun and awesome to make the casseroles, the dishes, the baked oats, all these different things, which all taste good, all still can be helpful to weight loss. I have found that it may slow the process down a little bit more. And yes, this is all about balance. We should be able to eat a variety of plant foods, right, if we're following this type of lifestyle. But if your goal is weight loss, and I know that has been my goal over the last year, this has been a slow, sustainable process, and that's how it should be, right? We're not looking to lose all this weight overnight. That is not healthy. We're not looking to go the way of the keto diet where we eat all this unhealthy food and drop all this weight fast, putting our body into ketosis. We're not looking at even fasting, intermittent fasting. We're not looking to avoid our hunger fullness cues and neglect our bodies of nourishment. We're not doing that here. But when it comes to your weight loss foods, I have found that if I am putting more in a recipe versus like a big casserole or a baked oat dish, or like think about, for example, a smoothie. I had been thinking for years that smoothies were great for weight loss. Why? Because you've got all these healthy ingredients blended together. Like that's like so good for me, right? I'm going to drop weight drinking smoothies. What? Because it's not actual food. This is actually the opposite of the truth. When we have a smoothie, for example, this is pre-digested food. This is a ton of different food that has been blended together, all sorts of different stuff, right? The idea is packing all the nutrients into one, which is why these are great for my daughter or for someone just looking to regain some health and to take in some healthy ingredients that they normally probably wouldn't eat if it wasn't blended into a smoothie. And so, but in regards to weight loss, think about each food that's blended up, it's making it smaller, it's blending it up, right? And it looks like less, but it's still, each food that you're putting in still has that, it's still the same amount of calories per pound. So I have a whole bunch of stuff blended into the smoothie. Now, if that food wasn't blended, do you think you would sit there and eat all of those nuts, all of that peanut butter, all of those pieces of fruit whole, all of the veggies that go in? No, you would not, because that's a lot of fiber. It would be very hard to do that, and it would take a long time. So you can see it's still, yes, we've changed the way in which it's going down. And again, you've taken out that fiber. So it's also not sending the correct cues to the brain, to the body saying, I'm full. I remember all the time when I was pregnant with Berkeley, I would get a smoothie almost every day from Smoothie King, a large smoothie, super nutty grain. It was my favorite one. Still to me is the best tasting smoothie from there. But I don't drink smoothies now that I'm on my weight loss journey, since I learned about how they can be counterproductive to weight loss. And so I would drink a big smoothie every day, and it would be so hard not to drink it fast. I don't know how to drink anything slow. And so but it wouldn't be that much longer after I would be hungry again. And I'm like, well, I just ate this bit or drank this big, huge smoothie. Like, why am I already? my goal was to get it for the nutrients. Like I wanted to eat kale every day. I wanted to grow this happy baby. And I loved everything that was in it. And I just, my focus was feeding her healthy foods. But now that the focus is weight loss, you won't catch me drinking a smoothie at all. And so, yeah, pre-digested food, your body's not getting to chew it up. We need to chew it up. We need to, to be able to digest it in our mouth with our saliva. But you drink that smoothie, the work is already done. It's going down into the belly. You're not getting those proper signals that you're full. So what does that mean? We eat again. Therefore, eating more than we normally would have if we would have just ate some wet starches, some rice, some potatoes, some beans, filled up on some non-starchy veggies. And so you see my point there. And so another example would be I love soup. And even in the McDougall program, for maximum weight loss, one of the recommendations is maybe eat a soup before you have your meal of your non-starchy veggies and your half a plate of starch, or you can start with a salad. And so for me, if I'm making a big, gorgeous, yummy soup, like I love soup, but let me tell you why I love it. It's because in soup, I'm adding all these beautiful things. And in soup, because I don't add salt to my food, but in recipes, I normally will add a little bit. I'll add a little bit. And what happens when I add a little bit of salt? Ooh, that's good. And for me, and for a lot of people, and in general, salt is a stimulating food. Have you ever noticed when you eat something that is higher in sodium that you are more inclined to eat more? I'll give the reference about the bag of chips. The bag of chips is full of sodium. You eat some, before you know it, you've eaten the entire bag. And you think, how did I get here? And you're still not satisfied most of the time, because dry starches, because that is a dry starch, right? Potato chips, a potato that the water has been removed. You're not going to get as full on those anyways because the water's been taken out and they're not as nutritionally dense. But my point is that salt triggers and makes you want more. So in my soups, I always put a little bit of salt because I want to bring out those, I like to. And that's my way that I would sneak salt in. And what do I end up doing? Anytime that I've made soup, I swear I eat 4 or 5 bowls of it. And here's my point again, is that soup is a lot of it. Sometimes if we blend it up, so a lot of that soup, sometimes like a blender soup, which I love blender soups. There is nothing wrong with blender soups. I'll take it back to this. If the goal is weight loss, for me, eating a blender soup is setting myself to keep eating more and more and more and more. Why? Because odds are I probably added a little bit of salt and it's blended up. So the food is pre-digested. And so if I'm gonna make a soup, I wanna make a hearty soup with the ingredients probably not blended up. And so if I've got predominantly veggies in my soup, that's different. Maybe a little bit of beans, or maybe I've added some, noodles that are made out of beans or something, still a dry starch. But so the more ingredients I add, or the consistency in which the food has been prepared, triggers me a lot of the times to eat more. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Casseroles. I flippin' love casseroles so much. Odds are, when I have put all that energy into making something and I'm like, oh, it's vegan, oh, it's plant-based, oh, it's even oil-free, I will sit there. This is me. And I invite you to just observe your own patterns and behaviors. Really look at it and see. For me, I will sit there and eat dang near half the casserole. Simple foods, and this is just me. This is my patterns over the last 5 years being a vegan in general, and then even over being in the Starch Solution. There's the whole idea of eat as much as you want, till you feel full. But I like to bring it back to Dr. Joel Fuhrman, one of the plant-based doctors, who talks about us not needing to add salt to the food, and I did that for a while. And what's been great about my potato reset that I've been doing, I am almost through 30 days of eating almost every single day, nothing but potatoes for every meal. There's been 2 meals I did not eat potatoes, but all the other meals I have ate potatoes and veggies at every single meal. And so I have really reset my taste buds. I haven't added salt to anything. I can eat the veggies as they are. There's been a few times I've added my blue agave sriracha sauce, and that's been nice. But I've been mindful of that as well, because I didn't want to get used to adding that seasoning, because these foods that are in season, these veggies, their flavors are so good, and if we eat in season, can tap into those natural flavors. And again, this is not demonizing salt. I love the idea of some pink salt to add a little bit of flavoring, but for me, and what I've noticed, my patterns, my behaviors, it makes me want more. It makes me want a little more. It is a stimulating food. So is sweeteners. Sweeteners are stimulating, and so I'm very mindful of that as well. And once I go down the rabbit hole, like say I have some, there's special occasions, eat a little bit of a special vegan birthday cake. For me, or it's the pattern of like when I take Berkeley's, if I've got her cupcakes or something from something that she's done, or like her birthday party or a special event, we bring them home. Those sit in my fridge. I got to get rid of them, because my patterns, my behavior, sometimes I can will it. Sometimes I can have this beautiful, strong willpower, but other times it's not even about the willpower. It is literally about, once I put it in my body, I've set off that craving, sending that signal in my brain telling me I want more. And again, this may not be your experience. I just invite you to look at what maybe your patterns and behaviors are in regards to food. What do you notice? What rises up in you? What do you tend to do once you put certain foods into your body? And so back to the whole idea of the more ingredients in something, here's another idea. The more that's on my plate, like I love to eat all the different vibrant colors, and we want to fill our plate up, right? Get your non-starchy veggies. This is assuming the goal is weight loss. But the more different things I put on my plate, if I add a whole bunch of different stuff and some recipe that I've made, you're more inclined to want to eat every little bit of it, and it's just a stimulation thing. And so it's like, if I keep it simple, 2 different things on my plate, right? This is me. 2 different things on my plate. I've got some veggies, a big plate of veggies, and then I've got some starch filling up that whole side of the plate. And if I'm still in maximum weight loss mode, which I am, so I'll add fruit to where my starches are. And then that's keeping it simple. To some, that may be boring. I have been eating the same thing for 30 days straight, with the exception of those 2 meals where I was with family or friends and we had special arrangements. And life is not boring. Actually, life is even more exciting than before. I look forward to all of these meals. I rejoice in these beautiful flavors, and I'm excited. I have seen beautiful results, but most importantly, I've reset the taste buds. And since I've been on this journey, I've done simple foods. There'd be times I'd do some noodles and do like a yummy creamy sauce, but what would I find myself doing? Eating the you-know-what out of those noodles and being like, well, they're starch-based. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's still weight loss friendly. The potato is the most satisfying food on earth, scientifically proven. And I have found, keeping it to my veggies, keeping it to my potatoes, I literally eat until I'm full. If I'm mindful of the pace in which I'm eating, chewing slow, staying one with myself, and staying in the moment. If I'm distracted, or if I've got maybe a stressor, like maybe I'm having a rough time getting my 3-year-old to cooperate, which she's 3, I notice myself, I start chewing faster, I'm eating anxiously. So it's like, okay, well, bring it back. So there's just so many different ways, to look at this, and so many cool things to incorporate along this journey. But my intention of this video today was to share with you how, if I'm doing a fancy recipe, which for me, still got a little bit of that attention deficit, my brain it works different. We all have beautiful different brains. That's why my mushroom supplements help. If you are somebody who maybe have trouble focusing, or different tasks can overwhelm you, I'll link it below so you can try some out. 20% off code mushroom supplements work amazing, big time. Anyways, I was saying all that to say that big recipes can tend to overwhelm me. And then for some reason, I make a big recipe. I'm like, I'm about to eat all this. I put this time and effort in. I'm about to eat this, because it's normally, a recipe is really good, right? Yummy. But for me, I just keep going, I just keep going. All of us have our different things. All of us have, so maybe you have an addictive personality, maybe you don't, but I'm somebody who has had that all throughout life. And so it's about coming back to self, doing things that maybe don't set that off. And this is me, again, sharing my experience. I most certainly hope that this has been helpful to you. If you were able to resonate with anything I said, drop a comment, let me know. And if you have any video suggestions or anything you'd like to hear from or see from me, please feel free to leave me a comment, let me know. Make sure to subscribe if you have not. Give this video a thumbs up, hit like. It helps me share the power of plants with more people. And I thank you so much for being here. See you next time.